Yo, what's good guys? This is Nightwing2303 from WearTesters.com. Today we got the performance review on these bad boys right here. This is the Dame 3. So with that being said, let's go ahead, get right into it. Traction. We got blade traction through and through from heel to forefoot, left to right, top to bottom. Doesn't matter where you look, there's blades and there are blades everywhere. And just like other brands that use this same type of feature, I absolutely love the traction here. Worked well for me, both on dusty courts and clean courts. Obviously with dusty courts, it's gonna clog some of these areas up, so you will wanna wipe periodically. But when the court is nice, so is the traction, and I mean like nice. Overall, I would say that this is a step up in regards to traction compared to the Lillard 2, just because these little gaps right here are not quite as tight as that one was. So, you know, any bit of dust on the Lillard 2 was sticking to it, whereas these guys here, you could play for a little while in between wipes without too much worry. Now the cushion is bounce. It's a dual density setup, just like the 2. So you got an exterior firm carrier and then an interior bounce setup, and it feels amazing. I still don't know how this basic for Adidas foam feels as good as it does, because basic for every other brand doesn't feel this good. You know what I mean? So it's just like weird that bounce feels so bouncy. I mean, it's crazy. And on top of that, these guys are super low profile, so you're getting tons of court feel with all that cushion, and it's just, man, I don't know what to say, man. This is awesome, dude. Like, you know what I mean? If you want cushion and it's like in an affordable shoe, this is the one of the shoes that's gonna give that to you, no problem, no questions asked. Did I mention it's full length? Because it is. Awesome. Now the materials are another key area that is a step up from the 2. In hand, they feel a little plasticky because the thread that they use that makes the knit or the mesh is called fuse mesh, so it's kind of like infused with TPU. So each of the little like strands or yarn that they use to make the upper width is coated in plastic. So you do feel that up front. It's got a little bit of a crisp to it, you know what I'm saying? But you don't actually feel that on foot. You only feel it in hand. Whereas the D-Rose 7 engineered mesh, those did not feel crispy in hand, but on foot they felt crispy, and that was not an ideal setup for me personally, because that's not what I correlate with a softer material. Whereas these guys are not quite soft to the touch, but on foot they feel amazing. And this little napkin piece right there, that worked beautifully. It looks funny, I'm not gonna lie, and it will always look funny because it's a giant napkin on the side of the shoe. But if you want performance, that napkin worked. Now as far as fit, I would go with your same size that you wore in the Dame 2. Whatever that is, whether you went true to size, down half a size, up a size, whatever it might be, that's what I would recommend, because that's how these guys feel. To me personally, going true to size, which is what this shoe is, worked perfectly fine because the napkin works so well. It literally locks you into that shoe without any issue. However, there was a slight bit of dead space right at the front between the tip of my toe and the tip of the shoe, and so for that, I'm gonna say that they fit half a size long. But again, going true to size, I had no problems. I just would have preferred a slightly more one-to-one fit than that. And one negative drawback about the fit overall is right here on the medial side of the inner boot, there's like a big stitch line right here. So if you do happen to wear no-show socks, that little bunch of stitches is gonna like really dig into your ankle. So for that, I would recommend going with quarter cuts if you like shorter socks, and if you like taller, you know, elite socks and things like that, then stick with what you normally wear. The support on these guys is greatly improved. That's the one like major mark that they've got down with the difference between the Dame 2 and the Dame 3. First off, the bottom is flat, so it's awesome. Promotes a lot of stability right there. This little outrigger right here is not crucial, but it works. There's a midfoot TPU shank underneath right here, and then they have 2 little rubber cages right there, and those guys actually provided with a slight pinching feeling at the midfoot while you're wearing them at first. So I had to loosen up the first 2 laces on the napkin area, and once I did that, they were perfectly fine. But in the beginning, I like yanked them up so tightly that it kind of like pulled those and was pinching my feet from the sides. So just a warning, don't lace the midfoot up too tightly, otherwise you might experience the same thing. The midsole though, that is what actually provides a lot of the support. You sit in the midsole, and that's something that I really love. I mentioned this a long time ago with the CP3.5 performance review, I believe. This is so long ago, I'm surprised I remember. And on that sneaker, I remember saying that I wish that you would have sit in the midsole a little bit, because it just kind of like cups your foot and it makes you feel a little bit more stable, provides more stability, more structure to the shoe without adding more layers upon the material. And that's exactly what they did here, and it's awesome. Like, it's like the best feature, you know what I mean? Like sitting within a shoe, I know that the midsole looks thick and everything, but you're actually sitting in half of it, and it's awesome. They've done it with other shoes, but mostly in the heel, and this is a shoe that does it full length from heel to forefoot, and it's awesome. I just said awesome like 3 or 4 times. Sorry about that. There is also an internal heel counter right here at the heel, but again, it works in conjunction with that whole midsole area that kind of like envelopes some of your foot. So supporting these guys is great. All right guys, that pretty much takes care of it. Overall, I love this shoe. This is probably one of my favorite Adidas models to play in right now, alongside the Harden Volume 1, mostly because it's got a little bit of everything for me. It's got enough cushion, it's got great materials, it's durable, it's lightweight, great traction. I mean, there's not really much more that you can ask for in a shoe. These are really well rounded, and I just really appreciate that. So, you know, this is one of my favorite shoes right now. So if you need any more information, all you got to do is head over to the link that's in the description box below. It'll take you over to weartesters.com, where it's going to have its price, its weight, its performance scores, all that kind of good stuff, along with some more of my thoughts within the written review. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, concerns, if you want to note down what your experience was in the shoe, I strongly suggest doing that in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, guys, have a good one.